Welcome to Theme Weavers, your weekly wisdom for weaving yoga themes into your classes to inspire your students. I'm your host, Heidi Kasner. Let's get started. Welcome, Theme Weavers. Today we are going to look at how to deliver a Dharma talk and weave the theme of the story of Sage Marichi, which reminds us of the importance of cultivating our inner light and aligning our actions with intention. If this is the first episode you're listening to, please go back and check out Season 1, Episode 2 for details and background on the structure of how and why to weave themes through your yoga classes. If you choose to use today's teaching as your theme, then please find a way to turn my voice into yours. Make this theme authentic to you specifically. Thanks for tuning in. Let's dive into today's episode. Okay, yoga story time. Today, I want to share the story of Sage Marichi, whose name and essence inspire Marichyasana, also known as Sage Twist Pose. It's a seated twist with a bind behind the back, which is a pose that speaks to the legacy of light, inner wisdom, and the power of intention. Marichi is one of the ancient sages, one of the 10 sons of Brahma, and Brahma was the creator of the universe. Let me tell you a little bit about him. I like to have some background. There are 4 poses named after him, and with so many poses named after him, you might think he plays a huge role in the stories and myths, but oddly enough, he is not a name that we hear a lot about in Hindu mythology. However, without him, the continuing story and history of creation would not have been possible. So I guess that's kind of a big deal. In the book Light on Yoga by B.K.S. Iyengar, if you've ever read it, Iyengar says that the sage Marichi was the son of the creator, Brahma, and that he was the grandfather of Surya, the sun god, like Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. His name means ray of light, symbolizing clarity, focus, and illumination. We hear more about Marichi's son Kasyapa, and also that he was married to Kali, who we talked about back in episode 56. As a cosmic seer, Marichi is said to have had a deep understanding of the universe and its workings, holding within him the wisdom of the stars. One of the most well-known stories that I'm aware of Marichi is his role as the ancestor of the sun god, Surya. Marichi's lineage is thought to have brought light into the world, both literally and metaphorically. His teachings remind us of the balance between discipline and surrender, and the importance of planting seeds of intention that grow into legacies of wisdom and enlightenment. Marichi lived a life devoted to spiritual practice, reflecting the idea that light, both external and internal, is cultivated through effort and dedication. The twist of the torso in Marichyasana reflects the turning inward needed to find your inner light, while the grounding of the pose reminds us to stay connected to the earth even as we aspire towards something higher. Marichi's story invites us to reflect on how we cultivate and share our own light. In a world that often feels chaotic and dark, especially nowadays, it's easy to lose sight of our inner wisdom and strength. This myth reminds us that each of us carries a ray of light within, a source of clarity, intention, and potential. In life, this might mean staying aligned with your values even when external circumstances challenge you, or taking small, deliberate steps toward your goals. Like Marichi, you can plant seeds of intention that grow into something meaningful, not just for yourself, but for others around you. Think about a time when you felt lost or uncertain. Often the light we seek externally is already within us, waiting to be uncovered. The twist in Marichyasana reflects the effort required to look inward, to confront what blocks our light, and to let go of what no longer serves us. Challenges arise when we forget this inner light, when we focus too much on external distractions or allow doubt to cloud our path. But Marichi's story teaches us that with focus and discipline, we can illuminate even the darkest spaces in our lives. As we move through our practice today, let Marichyasana be a reflection of this story. As you twist, imagine turning inward to uncover your inner light. As you ground through your sit bones and lengthen through your spine, think of the balance between staying rooted and reaching for illumination. Before I bring us to the next part, where I help bring this theme alive, I did want to interrupt with a few brief announcements. Thank you to those who have been leaving a 5-star review and leaving comments whenever you listen to the podcast. I really appreciate that. I really like the comments, especially on Spotify or when you reach out to me personally. And if you haven't yet left a review or a comment, please do. And also don't forget to follow the show. Don't just like listen to it, but actually click follow. It does make a difference to the algorithm of when the show gets recommended to other people. So I appreciate that. You can also find the show in all the social channels to keep up to date with some fun reels and posts that I share. I try and do that once a week. So I'm really grateful to each of you who listen. And the more you share and interact, the more energy and excitement that it's sending my way. So thank you. And if you haven't yet, thank you in advance. If you are so inclined and enjoy the podcast, there is an option to set up a monetized subscription to Theme Weavers. I think it's like $4.99 or even like $4.50 or something like that a month. It's not huge, but it does add up, and I really appreciate it. And if you are a chromatic yoga teacher and you subscribe the paid version of the podcast, you're able to track your listening hours, and they qualify as continuing education through chromatic yoga. So whether or not you're using it for continuing education or just to show your gratitude, I appreciate it. You can always reach out to me at themeweaverspodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions about that. The link's in the show notes below in order to subscribe. And I also have 2 tangible offerings for you. The first is Theme Weavers Academy. It's a really fast, practical online course to help you create yoga classes with confidence and creativity with your theming. There's also options to bundle that with 22 inspiration sheets and another one for 5 pre-written modern day Dharma talks ready for you to purchase as well. I tried to keep it all very affordable. So let me know if it's out of your budget and it's something that you're interested in. I'm absolutely willing to work with you. I want this to be supportive to your learning. Check out the link in the show notes to learn more about the course and the additional offerings. And if you haven't seen, I also read a book. It's called Energize Your Life. It's a chakra workbook for personal transformation. The link's in the show notes below as well for you to buy that. And it does go along really nicely with the chakra series that we recorded back in season 2. So yay! Thank you for checking it out. All right, back to today's episode. Your Dharma talk story time is finished, and now we get to the part of class where we can find a phrase to drop as breadcrumbs throughout the class at different points to help your students come back to the idea of the story of Sage Marichi. If you follow the breadcrumbs, then you stay on course and weave your theme throughout class rather than just like dropping it and leaving it and never coming back. Some options for phrases I like to use, and you can come up with your own too, let me know what they are turn inward to find your light, or ground yourself firmly as you twist toward clarity, or cultivate the light within and let it guide your practice, or let your twist reflect turning inward toward wisdom and intention. So those are just some. I'm sure you'll come up with others as well. So just let me know if you have some good ones to share with our community. All right, so now that we have our thematic 3-line phrase, let's have a brief chat about how we can bring all of this alive in class. What additional things could we hit on? Things like peak poses or specific pranayamas, or really anything else related to the story of Sage Marichi. So, of course, the obvious one is Marichyasana, which is Sage Marichi pose. It's a twist where we twist inward to find our own light. Marichyasana is also called Sage Twist Pose. Maybe you've heard it called that. It's a seated yoga pose where you twist your torso by bending one leg and wrapping your arms around it, essentially creating a deep spinal twist while keeping your gaze directed backwards. Right? Like, if you're watching. As I said in the Dharma talk, as you twist, imagine turning inward to uncover your inner light. As you ground through your sit bones and lengthen through your spine, which is a great reminder for me to sit up straighter, think of the balance between staying rooted and reaching the crown of your head for illumination. There's also a mudra. It's called Surya Mudra. It's the gesture of the sun to help us remember to connect to our inner radiance, and also because we now know the lineage connection with the Surya god. This is when you fold your ring finger, the earth element, down toward the base of your thumb, and you press the thumb, the fire element, gently against the folded ring finger. Keep the other fingers extended and relaxed. Hold the mudra, the hand gesture, with one or both hands. I'm doing it right now if you're watching the recording. Surya Mudra. A quote by Earl Nightingale: "We all walk in the dark, and each of us must learn to turn on our own light." Or an anonymous quote: "Light does not come from outside, it comes from within." And I love this one. You've heard me talk about it over the seasons. It's Dumbledore in the Harry Potter books. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if only one remembers to turn on the light. I love this because it means that even when things are bad or dark, people can still find happiness and meaning and illumination by trying to improve their situation. Or in our case, with Sage Marichi, people can remember to see their own light within themselves, even when things are not going so well externally. Or another one, which is Ramana Maharishi: "Your own self-realization is the greatest service you can render the world. Or Sun Tzu, in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity to find clarity. There's also some songs I might use in a class if I'm so inclined to relate to the myth. There's Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, here comes the sun, do-do-do-do, it's all right, do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay. Maggie Rogers, Light On. Trevor Hall, I love his songs, Inner Light. Florence and the Machine, Let the Light In. So it just depends what kind of vibe you're going for, and they're all related to sun or light. Or a guided meditation where you visualize yourself as a ray of light connecting earth to sky. With each breath, feel your light expand outward, illuminating your path and those around you. That's what I have for you today related to the actual part of class where we do these additional things to intersperse within our other work. So now we get to the part of class where we get to wrap it all up and create a reverse Dharma talk, the closing to the class. So how you now bookend the class with that last breadcrumb to keep us connected to the teaching. So as you come out of Shavasana and step off of your mat, carry the story of Sage Marichi with you. Life may pull you in many directions, but within you is a steady ray of light, your inner wisdom and strength. Ask yourself, how can I cultivate this light? What seeds of intention can I plant today that will grow into a legacy of clarity and purpose? Like Marichi, your light has the power to illuminate not just your own life, but the lives of those around you. Now, if you like this yoga story time, find a way to bring the theme alive in your own voice, in your own practice and teaching. The story of Sage Marichi reminds us of the importance of cultivating our inner light and aligning our actions with intention. May this myth inspire you to turn inward, uncover your wisdom, and shine brightly both on and off the mat. And just one other thing about these themes, if you're not into theming your classes with them, these are really cool Dharma talks that you can put into your own words for email content, right? Your newsletters to teach your students beyond the postures. So that way, if you don't want to spend the time in class, whether it's not your vibe or the studio doesn't let you, you can still bring this in, just teaching in a different way. Maybe it's your social media content or different things. So you can use it beyond just your teaching as well. That's my point. And then please reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, email, however you want, and let me know how it lands. I'm here to support you, fellow yoga teacher, in your class preparation and delivery. So let me know how I can be of the most support, please. Tune in next time for a new myth for inspiration for your classes. And don't forget to check out Theme Weavers Academy, Crafting Impactful Classes. Click the link in the show notes to learn more and enroll. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next week with a new myth and modern inspiration to bring to your practice and your teaching. See you next time.